Welcome to Tech Talk with WSU Tech, where we dive into all things WSU Tech and highlight the voices within our college community. I am Mandy Fouse, and today we have the honor of chatting with none other than Cody Griffin. Cody, welcome.
Thanks, Mandy.
Thanks for
being
here.
To be here.
Yay, I'm so excited. So the way that we like to kick things off here is we like to have our guests introduce themselves and give us an explanation of how you serve the mission of the college.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Cody Griffin. I'm the Assistant Director of College Access here at WSU Tech. And in that role, I'm responsible for overseeing our external recruitment that we do with a focus on recent high school graduates, starting to bridge into adult recruitment as of this year. And the team, we serve the mission in really just representing the college and the university, making sure that we're filling the top part of our funnel with prospective students that we can hopefully convert into enrolled students.
Awesome. So recruitment's a pretty broad term. So give us a look into what a day in the life of overseeing recruitment is. What is it like to be Cody?
So I'm not going to lie. When I saw this question originally, I low-key laughed.
Yeah, of course. High-key laugh, too.
Yeah. All of it. It was a good belly laugh, for sure. There's not really a typical day in recruitment. Every day looks a little bit different, but there's a couple of common themes that run through all of the things that we do. And really, it's communication. That's probably the biggest and the thing that's most forefront for what we do. Right. The communication varies depending on where we're at. So some days that's in schools at lunch visits or in classroom presentations. Some days that's engaging with middle school students at a middle school event or having people on our campus showing them all the amazing things that we do. So it just kind of varies day to day.
Yeah, so it's meeting people where they are when they're ready.
100%.
Right?
Trying to meet people where they're at and help them understand the great opportunities that they have within our college.
Really great. So, Cody, how long have you been here?
This is my 8th recruiting year. Yep.
I would say we've been along this journey for a while together. And I know something that I'm very passionate about and that I see that you're very passionate about is overcoming the misconceptions of technical education. So what are, as you're on the streets and, pounding the pavement of the middle school and the high schools, what are some of those misconceptions that you're still seeing today, 8 years later?
So it varies depending on the audience that we're talking to. If we're dealing with like families and community, like school partners, a lot of times the misconception is, oh, well, we want this student to look at a technical school because they're not really academically ready. And that's always just a skin crawl moment for us, right? Because just because a student hasn't been performing well at the high school level doesn't mean that they're not going to perform well at the collegiate level. We just haven't honed into the thing that they really want to do.
Right.
So that's one thing that we hear a lot, a misconception of technical education and what technical education is, tying back to academic readiness. The other thing that we hear a lot is when we bring people onto our campus for the first time and they go, wow, you guys got a lot of stuff. Like, y'all are like a real school. Like, oh my gosh. And so that's always again, it's kind of twofold, right? It's a compliment and it's also kind of backhanded, right, at the same time. Yeah. But it really is amazing when we bring people that have been in Wichita their entire life and have never stepped foot on our campus that they didn't realize the national gem that they have right here in their backyard.
Right. So what do those conversations sound like then as you're like overcoming this?
So it for the educational part of it, it really starts with kind of almost a tongue-in-cheek, like, oh yeah, we're a real school. Like we're accredited in everything. We offer degrees and the whole thing.
We got T-shirts and everything.
Yeah. So but what that conversation really, what it ultimately sounds like is getting to know what that person's goal is and showing them how they have a starting spot, how they can tie WSU Tech into that educational journey.
Yeah. I say one of my favorite lines is, well, most of the people here are making more than I do with a welding degree than I have with a master's degree, So, that's really cool. And I think that's something that all of us have tried to overcome as we're going through this journey, right?
For sure. Just about every time we do a tour with teachers specifically, there's always somebody that comes up at the end and is like, so how old is too old? Could I start? I'm like, absolutely. Come on.
Come to the dark side.
Yeah, 100%.
So 8 years of doing recruitment here at WSU Tech. I mean, you started WATC times.
I did.
Throwback.
I did. I was here. I recruited for a year with as WATC, and then was here through the transition from WATC to WSU Tech.
Yeah, and went through all the COVID years. I remember doing campus tours with masks on, and we're doing them, via video production and all of that.
So social media lives and doing live tours and walking around and trying to get as much stuff out there as we could through COVID. That was a challenging process, but one that I think ultimately we came out of in a much better place. It's kind of weird to think back to some of the things that we had to do to get through that.
Right.
But the growth that we've experienced on the backside of it is a result of some of those changes and some of those things that we had to do there.
Yeah. So how else has the recruitment landscape changed since you've been here? What else have you seen?
I think the biggest change is kind of the digital transformation and being able to make decisions using data a little bit better. Because when I started, we were living on paper forms and spreadsheets.
Right.
Which worked, but it wasn't as effective or impactful as we would like to be. So now through the use of our CRM, our customer resource and customer management group, it's called Slate, we really have a way to make a lot more data-informed decisions on where we're going to invest our recruitment time, which ultimately impacts our yield. Right. So we can focus our time into places where we're going to get more conversion. We're going to see more people rather than going to things that we don't really know what the impact of it's going to be.
Yeah. So it was a really manual process.
It was. It was a very manual process. And moving that into a more informed process has really improved not only our ability to connect with students, but improved that efficiency and the timeline that it takes for them to get through that.
Right. Because, I mean, you think about the world today, and the world is no longer just like geographically bound, but it's also very not time bound. And what I mean by that is like people want to be able to explore things when they want to explore them. So if it's 2 a.m., they want to be able to connect with a recruiter or with an advisor at that time. So having these systems built out where you're giving them the information when they're ready to receive it is so important.
Absolutely. The ability to utilize some of those tools that make it give the immediate feedback and the immediate response that customer base is looking for is really, really important. But then it's also, a little bit of a shadow game, right? Because some of that stuff sometimes is a real person and sometimes it's the use of maybe an AI feature or something like that. So that's been another big change in recruitment and the way that we can utilize some of those tools. In the past, it was very much a manual process. So if we were doing outreach after we met with a student, somebody was physically writing and sending that email or that communication. Now we can utilize some of those tools that we have through our CRM, and that frees up our recruitment team to go dig deeper and find more leads.
Right. So it's not replacing that personal touch, but it's prioritizing it, right?
Yeah. I think the personal touch is still the most important thing in recruitment. Like you've got to have that ability to build relationship, and you can't do that with AI. You have to have a person. But the feature of AI allows us to kind of free up that time. And I think that's where our staff has really kind of leaned into some of these tools, and the way that it's freeing up their time makes a big difference.
Right. So the college has grown a lot in the last 10 years, 15 years. Talk about some of the student interest trends that you're seeing. Like, how are they changing? And then like, where do you see recruiting heading?
Yeah, so there are a lot of changes that have happened. I think that we encounter a lot more students now that have a direction or an understanding of where they want to go.
Okay.
Which is a lot different than where we started in 2017 when it was like, oh, well, we're a technical college, and a technical college is, and then you have to kind of start from step one.
Yeah.
Students are coming in with so much more knowledge now. There's so much more, they're more of an educated consumer. But on top of that, they also have an idea of the direction. And I think that that's partly because of the work that we've been doing,
right?
To introduce those things and talk about technical education earlier with students and start to introduce some of these career paths and opportunities sooner.
Yeah.
That definitely has made a difference. I was thinking, back to when we started recruitment, those first middle school days that we did, those students are just now getting, they just went through their last year was their senior year.
Oh my gosh.
So those students, when they came in and they were like, oh, I know what avionics is and that's what I want to do, where 6 years ago, you really had to hold somebody's hand, take them up to the avionics lab, describe what it is. And then even after that, they might have left with I think I know what I'm getting into, but I don't really know.
Yeah.
That's made a big difference.
So Cody, a lot has changed in recruitment in the way that we recruit people, as far as who we're talking to and how we're doing it. Can you explain to people how this has changed and how you think it's going to keep changing?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I started here, we were solely focused on recruiting the graduating senior. Right. That was our focus, and that's still a really, really important population of student that we need to target and continue to go after. We've reached this plateau, though, for high school students, where our high school population over the next several years is actually going to start dropping. So as that starts to happen, which this year is kind of the first year for that to start kicking off this trend, we're going to have to find students in different places than we've traditionally found them.
Yeah.
So one thing that we've done, I'm not sure if we're aware or not, but we've got 83 partner schools now in the high school department that we work with. 83. We go from Western Kansas to Southeast Kansas, from the Oklahoma border up to I-70. We're covering a lot of territory within the state that we normally in the past haven't covered. In addition to that, we're starting to focus a lot more back to adult recruitment and what we can do to engage with those non-traditional learners, show them that they have opportunities within the college, and then bring them back for continuing ed or a career path change. One of the things that we're really excited about doing with that is adding in a new adult recruiter. That adult recruiter is really going to work within industry in the Wichita and surrounding areas to work with companies to find out, hey, you have an employment or an employee tuition assistance program.
Yeah.
Let's share with your employees at a lunch and learn some of the opportunities that they have through WSU Tech. And then if they want to proceed, great. And if not, that's okay. We recently have started doing this with a company here in town, and we've increased their enrollment with WSU Tech. They had about 5% of their workforce that was coming for continuing ed. We're up to about 15% of their workforce now through just going to events at their institution and showing up. And we're the only college right now that's showing up for them. So all of those folks are coming here to WSU Tech.
I love that. And I love that we're making that focus. As someone who personally benefited from working for a company, I was working for a retail company that had tuition assistance, and that helped me from having college debt. And I always say, if you're not utilizing this, when I was managing people in retail, I was like, if you're not utilizing this benefit, you're taking a pay cut. So we're helping people have, in my mind, a higher wage, a higher pay, right?
Maximize those opportunities that you have through your employer, because that's why those employers have those programs, is so that they can recruit more people into their organization. So they want you to use it too. It's not like we're trying to take people out of their workforce. We're simply upskilling those people so that they're going to be more valuable inside that organization.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I stayed there a lot more years than I probably would have because I felt this allegiance to them. So I think that's really, really cool and really smart of your department to be having that focus on that. Oh.
Thanks. We're hopeful that it'll pay off. I don't think
it will.
Yeah.
We're going to say it here today. It's going to pay off.
Yeah.
So one thing that we like to do is talk about favorite moments.
Okay.
So this might be a hard question. It's like picking your favorite child. What is your favorite moment or experience that you've had here during your time at WSU Tech?
So there have been a lot of them. I mean, when I was thinking back about all the different things that I've gotten to be a part of, there are so many great events and so many student stories that I've gotten to play a part in. And that's the reason that I do my job, is to be part of those stories. But the one that stands out was probably from my first year of recruitment. We were running a lot of students through the Wichita Promise Scholarship. Aviation sheet metal in particular was rocking and rolling. And so I had a young man who had just graduated from high school. He came in. It was just after graduation, so end of May timeframe. He said, I have no idea what I want to do. I just want to make money. And I said, okay, you don't care what it is. You just want to make money. He said, yeah, and I don't want to go to school very long.
Okay.
I said, okay, well, let's go check out the college. And we walked the campus at NCAT, and we looked at all the different programs, got him into sheet metal. Fast forward to the end of the semester and then into spring. He shows back up in my office. This time it's probably April. I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing? Yeah. And he was like, oh, I just want to show you something. And he slid his tax return across the table to me. And I'm like, I'm not a CPA. I can't help you here. And he was like, no, I just want to show, like, look at the income. I looked down. Whoa. Wow. Good for you, bud. I mean, the kid's 19 at this point. Still living at home, making a well over $40K a year. And he's spinning some keys on his finger the whole time he's in my office. He's just spinning keys. I'm like, dude, what's up with these keys? He's like, I want you to come out to the parking lot with me. I'm like, okay, let's go out to the parking lot. We went out to the parking lot, and he had a brand new truck, rims and tire package, a stereo system that you could hear coming from K96, and he was a 19-year-old boy. Yeah. Right? What do you spend your money on? A big truck.
We hope trucks.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that was one of my, that has stuck with me since then, and is a story that I've shared with a lot of other students when they're like, I don't know what I want to do. It's, this doesn't have to be a forever thing. No. Let's just talk about what we're going to do short term, interim, so that we're making a livable wage rather than I could take this job, I guess. Mm-hmm. Let's have a little bit of pick.
I love it. That's so cool. Yeah. I can only imagine how much pride you felt in that moment. And
it was a cup filler for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It was a cup filler for sure. And I mean, here we are, 6-7 years later, still letting that story fill the cup.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So before we wrap up, what are some things that we can do as your college community to help support you guys?
So I think that one of the biggest things is even though you might not be in the recruitment department, everybody plays a recruiting role.
Right.
We've heard Sherry say this before. Everybody has an opportunity to recruit to WSU Tech. You might not know exactly what the program is called or what the starting steps are for those people, but you can talk about the options and the opportunities, or you can help them get connected to us. And so if there is ever a need, if you're ever having a conversation with a student and you're not sure where they should start, have them start with me. Even if I'm not the right spot for them, I'll help them get connected to the right spot and where they need to be.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cody, for coming on Tech Talk. Thanks for being along on this journey for 8 years together. I always know if I need something or need help, I can always call on you. You're such a great asset, and you're really changing lives.
Well, thanks, Mandy. I appreciate it. You can call me anytime you need to.
Oh, I will. Don't worry. And thank you so much for tuning into Tech Talk with WSU Tech. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And until next time, stay connected and keep exploring the incredible work happening here at WSU Tech. Thanks, Cody.
Thanks, Mandy.